What's going on, y'all? I'm Czar, and in this video, I'm going to give you my review of the Empirical Labs pump compressor. This is Empirical Labs' latest product, and fun fact, this is the first hardware product that they've done in 12 years. We've seen them recently shift to software, so really cool to see a hardware product come out, especially in the 500 series when a lot of people say the 500 series is dead. Now, let me tell you why this is a big deal. I always say that no one does compression like Empirical Labs. I have a Mikey. It's one of my favorite channel strips for recording vocals through, especially having that compressor on there. There's also a Distressor in the studio that I record out of. But of course, both of those are rack mount, stationary. Not going to move around too much with those. With the Empirical Labs Pump 500 series, we all know that's portable. Now I can move around with that and carry some of that Empirical Labs sound with me. So Empirical Labs did send this to me to review, but let's take a closer look, and of course, let's hear how this sounds. All right, so the Empirical Labs pump is a single channel, single slot 500 series compressor. If you want to do stereo, you will need two of them. Let's go over these controls. So at the top, we have our input. This is going to drive signal into the compressor. At the bottom, we have our output. If you're familiar with any Empirical Labs products, this is how all of their compressors work with input and output, very similar to how an 1176 works. Below that, we have attack and release. Now, we've got set attack and release times. Now, even though these knobs are variable, these are set attack and release times. So, for example, 6 millisecond attack, 10 millisecond attack, I can't do 8 millisecond attack by putting it somewhere in between. These are all set attack and release times. Really cool feature here though is you see this gain reduction light lighting as I turn the attack. Also does it with the release. What this is indicating is that I'm changing values with the attack. So when I go from 3 to 6, it lets me know I've moved over to the next attack by lighting that gain reduction. Really nice feature there. And also does it with the release. Now the release can be set to opto, just like you can with the Distressor. Below that, we have the attack mod. If you're familiar with the Empirical Labs Arouser plugin, this comes from that. So what the attack mod does is it's going to slow up the initial attack of transients when you go over 6 dB of compression, and we can go anywhere up to 10 with that. Push buttons, we've got your ratio selector, which is going to step through 8 different ratios. Now we've got 20 to 1, the furthest we can go. If you're familiar with the Empirical Labs products, the Distressor has nuke, Arouser has rivet, the Mikey also has nuke. Little disappointing that they didn't have a cool high ratio name here, but I think that's just because there wasn't space to put it on here, is what I would imagine. But we also have a saturation, and we have 110 hertz high pass filter that'll go in front of the detector circuit. The saturation for this is interesting. It's going to soften high frequency and add harmonics to low frequencies, and this is going to happen dependent on the ratio. So this isn't just a saturation that you just turn on or off. At higher ratios like 8 to 10 or 8 to 1 and 10 to 1, it's going to be a little cleaner, whereas like a 4 to 1, 6 to 1, we're going to get more. It's going to saturate quicker. So you can definitely be playing around with that in a second. And we can do saturation and the high pass filter at the same time, or have them off. Now, in classic Empirical Labs fashion as well, we can step forward through the ratios, or if we hold it, we can go back. All right, next button down here is bypass. When you hit bypass, we clearly see it's in bypass because we get these dancing lights. Now, you may need to update the firmware on yours if yours does not do this, but I like this feature because we can clearly tell when it is being bypassed. Another thing to point out, once we get to putting some signal through this, the gain reduction on here goes from the bottom to the top, which is really interesting to me. The only other compressor I've seen to do that is the API 527, and really not sure why that does it either. I'm curious if there was some logic behind this, or did Empirical Labs just want to be different with it? But all right, there's an overview of the pump. Let's check this out on some sources. Let's check it out on some rap vocals, some female vocals, and of course some drums. All right, so we're going to start with rap vocals. So for this rap vocal, I'm using a 4-to-1 ratio, 10 millisecond attack, and a 250 millisecond release. We're going to bring the saturation in later, but we'll start with it out. Let's play this first, though, with it bypassed, and then we'll bring in the pump.
I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed.
Okay, so towards the end of that, the vocal starts to drop off a little bit. So we're going to look to even this out with the pump. And I'm only going for about 3 to 6 dB of compression with this.
I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed.
All right, so Pump did a great job of leveling out this vocal. I'm going to play it one more time with it bypassed and listen to those last couple bars, how it starts to tail off, likely because he was running out of breath.
I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed.
All right, and one more time with the pump.
I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed.
All right, let's add the saturation now.
I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed. I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed.
All right, so I like what the saturation is doing. It's pulling the vocal forward a little bit. Now, what I want to do now is increase the input so I drive more signal into the compressor, because one thing that always impresses me with Empirical Labs compressors is how much gain reduction I can get without whatever I'm compressing sounding bad. So I was doing 3 to 6. Let's go for maybe 12 to 14 dB compression, which for me is a lot of compression for a rap vocal. But let's go for it.
I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed. I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed. I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed. I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed.
Okay, so this is pretty interesting. With the saturation, I didn't like what it was doing with the S's on there. Let's put the saturation back in and just listen to those S's.
I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed.
And then let's take the saturation out.
I'm fresh and my queen bee fresh. You on BS, you see me less. No, you see the smile on my face. Me, he bless him talking down on me. That me, he stressed.
All right, but I'm liking what the without the saturation, though. I am liking what we're getting. A more aggressive sounding vocal as well. Again, look at how much gain reduction we're doing. 12 to 14 dB. Doesn't sound squashed. Doesn't sound smashed. I love how Empirical Labs compressors do that. Let's check this out on some female vocals. All right, so for this female vocal, I am using a 4-to-1 ratio, 6 millisecond attack, and we're using the opto for the release, which is going to give it that program-dependent opto LA2A style release. And I am going to bypass it. Let's play this, and then I'll bring in the pump.
I can't get back up on my feet. See the lights on the street like stars. But look what I found. Look what I found. Another piece of my heart just laying on the ground, yeah.
All right, so we definitely got that vocal swell that we need to get some compression on. And the first part of that is well. I hear another part that we need to get some compression on and bring down the peaks. All right, let's bring in the pump and hear how it handles this vocal.
I can't get back up on my feet. See the lights on the street like stars. But look what I found. Look what I found. Another piece of my heart just laying on the ground, yeah.
All right, so I'm liking what it's doing there. Let's bring in the saturation and see how that handles with this vocal.
I can't get back up on my feet. See the lights on the street like stars. But look what I found. Look what I found. Another piece of my heart just laying on the ground, yeah.
All right, so I was listening for the high end, like with the rap vocal, not hearing it on this vocal. What I want to do now is let's bring the ratio up, and let's go to maybe a 10-to-1 ratio, and we'll adjust this accordingly. But I still want to get the same 12 dB of compression with this. And with this compressor, it's like with all Empirical Labs compressors, changing the ratio is going to affect where that threshold hits.
I can't get back up on my feet. See the lights on the street like stars. But look what I found. Look what I found. Another piece of my heart just laying on the ground, yeah.
All right, so we see we're getting up to 17 dB of compression there. It's still not sounding bad, but we're definitely getting more of a compressed effect there on the vocal. But it's showing you the difference of just stepping it up to something like a 10-to-1 ratio versus down to like a 4-to-1 ratio that we were using. But what I like about this is that it allows me to set, like I generally always set my compressors, is I've got a gain reduction in mind that I'm going for, and just going through these ratios as well as, of course, the attack and release can help you hit that target gain reduction that you're going for on the vocal. All right, let's check this out on some drums now. All right, so for these drums, I've got a 20 millisecond attack, 8-to-1 ratio, and we've got a 200 millisecond release. Of course, going to be bringing in the saturation as well as the attack mod for this a little later. But let's start with this bypassed. All right, so let's bring in the pump. All right, so the pump is really bringing out the high end there. Let's start with adding the saturation. I've also got the high pass filter going as well. Let's bring in the saturation, which again is going to soften the highs and add some harmonics to the low frequencies. Really excited to hear what this is going to sound like. Let's see. All right, definitely like what the saturation is doing to the low end. Let's turn up the attack mod. Now, again, what the attack mod is going to do is it's going to modify the initial transient, that initial attack of that transient, and it's really going to kick in around past 6 dB. We're going to see this attack mod light up to indicate that the effect is working. So let's play this and turn that up. All right, so you can hear when I really push that up to the 7/8, we are hearing that kick drum just more forward there. If you're not familiar with that attack mod feature, again, that is on the Empirical Labs Arouser plugin that was brought over to the hardware. So really interesting to see a feature come from the plugin over to the hardware. All right, let's get my final thoughts on this. All right, let's go ahead and get this out the way. Is the Pump a 500 series Distressor? My answer to that? No. If this was a Distressor, we'd have the Brit mod, we'd have Nuke, and think of how popular the Distressor is. If this was meant to be a 500 series version of the Distressor, pretty sure Empirical Labs would have put Distressor somewhere in the name of the product. Now, is the Pump the closest thing you're going to get to a 500 series Distressor? Probably. But let's take a step back and appreciate what Empirical Labs has done here. They've pulled design elements from their other products, of course, the Distressor, their plugin, the Arouser, the Mic E, Lil Freak, and have brought that all together to create this new product. And comparing this to other VCA compressors on the market, the only one I would really compare this to, in my opinion, is the Elysia Empressor. Both VCA compressors, both very versatile. This is coming in at $699. The Elysia's coming in at $749, so right around the same price point. But with as popular as VCA compressors is, it's pretty crazy to me that that's the only comparison I can really come up with for this. But the versatility of Empirical Labs compressors. This is another versatile compressor from Empirical Labs, which all of their compressors are. We all know the Distressor, the Mic E, which I feel is highly underrated. It's one of my favorite channel strips for recording vocals. Very versatile. This one's coming in very versatile. Now, I was a little surprised that the release goes up to 500 milliseconds and doesn't go past that, but I haven't found that to be a problem at all when using this. Let's look at things that I would want to change on this, if I could. Just because the rest of the Empirical Labs compressors have cool names for that highest ratio, I'd try to come up with something for that, really. Besides that, really, it would have been really cool if Empirical Labs was able to take the input and output knobs and give it those classic white Empirical Lab knobs. That would have been really nice to see in the 500 series. But really didn't expect that anyway, because the rest of the 500 series products doesn't have that, but it would be really cool to see. All right, there's my review of the Empirical Labs Pump. Definitely comment and let me know what y'all think about this. This is definitely one of the most exciting products that I saw at NAMM 2023, so definitely excited to get my hands on this. Of course, I'll have a link in the description if y'all want to check it out, learn more about it, or pick it up. All right, if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate a thumbs up. If y'all want to continue to see content from me, then y'all know what to do.